happens all over again, all over again.
Just like fantasy, looks in my cousin, almost like my fancy. It's what it is. I don't know where, I don't know where you came.
We're here with another RoCk. RoCk?
ReW WhO.
RoCk. So how'd you get the name RoCk?
Well,
WiLK.
I got the name when I was a kid. The true story is that when I was a little baby, my mom slapped me on the butt and broke her hand. And my grandma was like, "Oh my God, he's a rock."
Wow! Like
So
hard
everybody
as
thinks
a
it's
rock.
some music theater thing, but it's just my grandma.
Good for her. Good for Grandma. What was her name?
Estelle Wiederhorn.
Oh, Estelle.
She was a crazy woman.
Where was she from?
She was from Poland, but she's really from New York.
Okay, yeah, mine too. I mean, but now they say that it's not Poland anymore. Now it's like Hungary, Austria. Yeah, like all the places I thought I was from. My family's like, no, it's not that. It's like, how did they change it? Have you ever been to Poland?
No.
I went once.
Did you?
Yeah, and it had to say thank you in Polish.
How do you say it?
Dziękuję. Yeah, and so whenever I meet someone Polish and I say it, then they think I really know Polish, but I don't.
They love you immediately.
Yeah,
And you're not
exactly.
the ugly American going, "Yo, what's up?"
Exactly. So where did you grow up?
I grew up I'm from New York City, and I went to high school up in Rockland County.
Okay. All right. So how was that? I know. It's
I'm a
Rockland.
city guy.
Over that Tappan Zee Bridge.
Exactly.
It's kind of tough.
It's kind of
I know. So you came
Sorry.
back, right?
Yes.
And now what do you do?
I am an actor, playwright.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you do a poem right now? Like freestyle?
poem?
Or, yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do a poem from a new play.
Oh, goody.
All right. Let's talk about Sean Bell, who's 23 years old. He was about to marry the woman he loved, the mother of his child. And just like you and me and him and her and he and she, his friends wanted to throw him a bachelor party and send him on his way. You know what I mean? To the rest of his life. You know, a big party for the wedding was planned. I bet friends and family came in from all over the country, but to see this day was damned. Because that night, Sean Bell, and by the way, I know I will never forget his name, walked out of a club with his friends, and the lives of so many people will forever change.
I
You
know.
the whole thing?
Yeah, you want to?
50 shots, 50 shots, 50 shots sprayed out from the police. What were they thinking? One of those officers reloaded again and again and again and again. 26, 27, 28, and again, 48, 49, 50. John Wilkes Booth, completely untrained, only took one shot to kill Abraham Lincoln. And why would they even shoot? Sean and his boys, completely unarmed. And I got to say it again, 50 shots, almost like some kind of hunting season was up. All right, so look, in my humble opinion, this is why those cops are so nervous. Because deep down inside, each one of those shooters saw 3 young black faces that were to a funeral service. See, I think they expected them to be armed. They just knew these boys were up to no good. Felt they had to protect the world from kids like these. So they went out and shot 50 bullets simply because they could. And then he goes on.
Wow. Holy shit. So you were totally affected by that.
I was very affected by that.
That's a beautiful thing. Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
pretty,
You brought me right back to that. Yeah, it was at his bachelor party, right? They were leaving. They were a little wasted, having fun.
Yeah, they went to his bachelor party. They were unarmed. Something happened, and 50 bullets went in one direction and 0 went in the other
Oh
direction.
my God. Was he the only one killed?
Mm-hmm.
And was anyone else hit?
Yeah, he had 2 friends who were hit as well.
Wow.
But actually, I have an amazing story how I found out.
That was Queens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm a singer too, so I was coming home from a recording studio early in the morning the next day, and I ran into a friend of mine who's like, "Yo, RoCk, some kid got shot 50 times by the police last night." I was like, he was like, he was unarmed, and I'm thinking, sounds ridiculous. And his little brother, who's 11 years old, said to me, "Well, don't worry about it, RoCk, you're cool, it's okay." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yo, you're white, you couldn't get shot 50 times if you tried."
Oh my God.
And I was like, wow, that's so true. So I wrote this piece, and it's about white privilege and how that could never happen to me. Never.
Wow.
Like, nobody would ever have that type of visceral response towards me.
Well, you never
Because I'm
know.
white.
You never know.
But has there even been one story ever about somebody?
But you're a rock, so it would just bounce
I'm a
right
white
off
rock.
of you anyway. Right, exactly. Estelle would make sure that it wouldn't penetrate.
Yeah, nobody would fuck with her.
Exactly. It's more because of her than
Exactly.
yeah. Because no offense to the police, but they can have a happy trigger. You know how some hairdressers are like scissor happy? I think some of the policemen, and they're good cops too. I don't want to like say that they're not,
Absolutely.
but the bad ones really fuck shit up.
I mean, to me, it's not even an issue about the police. It's just really about white privilege.
You really think? Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing that more than I ever did my entire life recently in the last couple of years. I think it's becoming something that's being spoken about because I think it was like a unsaid thing that just happened, and now people like you and just people, I know my kids have widened my eyes to that term, white privilege. Like, I didn't even know it really. And it's being taught now.
Yeah.
And it's really becoming more open. Did you know about it?
I mean, I've had a horrible run-in with police, and I was illegally arrested and dragged in my car and had false charges put on me and was facing serious time for absolutely nothing. And
Wow.
I mean, it does happen to white people, and I don't know if it's could be. I think it's race. I also think it's economical. I think it's more class too and money, because I had to spend 7 months in court fighting with a public defender, where if I had money and a lawyer, you know, it would have been taken care of.
Yeah, money
you know?
helps too.
Money walks, you know, bullshit, you know, takes care of it. But I do agree with, you know, what he's saying too, because it's, you know, people get targeted too, you know. It's
Oh yeah, that's just a fact. I mean, just about our
Definitely.
prison population.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you go to Maine, it's all white. You can't even.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's funny because my daughter was in school there, and like pretty much every kid got arrested for underage drinking at some point. And they would even say that even the jails are just like so white. They hated being there. It was like there was no diversity whatsoever. But so your show, where can people see it?
Well, I just finished doing a show that I actually worked on for 6.5 years. That just closed. I had an off-Broadway run for 3.5 months.
Good for you.
So now that show's going to go on the road. It's called ReW WhO, but I have a new play called Privilege. And I just did
Okay.
the first reading of the other day.
Wow.
And so that's like in development now.
Wow, this is exciting stuff. So is it always like stuff that's really like emotionally charged?
My stuff is pretty emotionally charged.
Yeah.
ReW WhO was about my adoption, my fostering, my search for my biological mother.
And did you find her?
I did.
No.
But I realized I wasn't really looking for her. I was looking for me.
For the missing piece?
Yeah, I was looking for it was like questions of identity and stuff like
Right.
that. And it actually took me, I mean, the working on that play was like the most amazing catharsis of my life.
Good for
because
you.
I was going
There
through a
it
bad
is
time.
again. It's creativity. It's
Yes.
the thing that solves the world.
I was going through a rough time, and I just started working on this piece, and it became this play, and I traveled all over the world with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you do it?
Well, I wrote it on the trains, because I do all my writing on the subways.
Okay.
And I developed it in the street. And I actually literally go out and rehearse in the streets, and people would see me and they'd be like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, what kind of play?"
So where would you do it? Like on a street corner?
Well, usually in the parks. Like I started at Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn and McCarran Park. and
Okay.
I would go to like places under the BQ. It's like not like I'm going to look for people. I'm trying to find places where I'm not around people, just to be outdoors and just to work it out, because I'm so inspired by the city.
Right.
So people would actually start to come to me, and it became like a thing where I would have these impromptu Q&As with people after every rehearsal. And so ReW WhO became like this collaboration with, the community.
So each performance would be different.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
While I was there, I would take notes.
So did you ever do it inside?
Eventually, I did it off Broadway.
Right. So how
Yeah.
did that happen?
Well, it's a pretty amazing story. I wound up doing a bunch of festivals and stuff like that, and I traveled a lot. And then after 4.5 years, I kind of wanted to see if I had annoyed people enough, or if they wanted me to keep going, because I'm like the social networking freak, and
Good for you.
I'm a monster on that. So I told people, I said, if you want me to keep going with this, and if you want me to take this to an off-Broadway production, you have to give me money.
Right.
So I started a fundraiser, and I called it 500 Names. And it was like a resounding yes. People started giving me money, but like, $10 at a time, $20 at a time.
Right. It adds up.
It became a very spiritualness. Like, people started donating in honor of deceased relatives and taking like specific number. Like, somebody asked for number 423, and I was like, "Why you want 423?" And she was like, "Well, my son was born on April 23rd, and he was killed in Afghanistan, so I want to memorialize him on the list. I was like, wow, so now this list was like, the show is no longer just about me.
Right.
And so I got 590 people to donate money. I raised a shitload of money.
Wow.
We got to the theater, and I had a successful, very well-received off-Broadway
One-man
for 3.5
play?
months. It's a solo piece, yeah.
Good for you. Wow, I hope you rub off on all of us. Yes. Yeah. Put it on us.
But it was just
Bring
from
it.
support. It was from the community.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's
when you
great.
share with them and make them a part of it, then they'll support you.
Yeah, well, that's what art is.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for you. So when's the other one going to...
Well, I'm doing a fundraiser now, actually, because I'm going to do the same thing I did with ReW WhO. I'm going to go to 5 cities out west, and I'm going to go to Chicago, and then I'm going to go to London, Dublin.
And you finance the
Paris.
whole thing
I'm raising money for it.
independently.
Yeah. Mhm.
Good for you. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I want to be a fly on your wall and learn how you do this. Yeah, because we want to take our show all over the
Oh, you
world.
could totally do it.
Yeah.
You have a lot of support.
Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
have you as our helper, our little ferryman. Yeah, exactly. So what's your website? How do people find you?
RoCkwilk.com, RoCk,
But don't you use a 0 for the O?
No.
It's an O?
It's a no.
Because I always think it looks like a funny shape when you do it, don't you?
No.
It's just it's a capital O.
No.
You do a small O?
I think you're thinking of, no, it's a small O.
I was
My
doing
last
it.
name is all capitals.
Is that it?
But it doesn't really matter
No.
if you're searching for me.
No, but it's RoCk, just rock.
That's it,
I
right?
always thought it was like R with a big O for some reason.
But I'm going to try that because that sounds pretty cool.
That's how I was doing it for some reason, and I didn't think I made it up. Yeah,
Rock.
yeah, it's like rock, exactly, yeah. When's your birthday?
February 10th.
Ah, okay, Aquarian.
So what does that mean?
It's just a good thing.
Is it?
I like Aquarians.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Good.
Yeah.
What would have been a bad thing?
Nothing. But it's time for you to get some paella. So,
I'll make me some paella.
yeah. Do you have a little skeleton from your closet you'd like to share with us?
I have a pretty funny skeleton.
All right, let's get it.
So part of ReW WhO was my questions of identity being Jewish, because I was a really good athlete when I was a kid, and I could sing a certain kind of way, and people were they knew I was adopted, so they're like, you're definitely not really Jewish, because no Jew could run like that, or no Jew could jump like that, or whatever. So I was like, I became like this social activist. I thought it was so racist, But I also thought, what if it's true? So it kind of fucked my head up, So anyway, I just rejected being Jewish when I was a kid. I was adopted by a Jewish family.
Right.
So, but I had a bar mitzvah.
Okay.
So my mother would drop me off at Hebrew school every day when I was a kid, but I never went, ever.
Okay.
She didn't know this, but she'd drop me off, I would go somewhere
You
else.
played hooky.
So when the bar mitzvah came, she sent me to this rabbi to learn my Haftorah, which is the thing you have to read when you bar mitzvah.
Right.
And the rabbi called my mother, and she was like, yo, he doesn't even speak Hebrew. You have to postpone the bar mitzvah. So my mother was like, no. If we postpone the bar mitzvah, his father will kill you and him. So what I did was I had this rabbi record the Haftorah. Now, of course, the other thing is, depending on your birthday.
Do you lip sync it?
No. Better, even better. Depending upon your birthday, that's how long your Haftorah is, a part of the Bible, right? So with mine, most kids have a paragraph or a page. Mine was 6 pages long.
Oh my God, that was a still.
So the rabbi recorded it for me. He's like, you have to learn this. And, I was like, oh, shit. So I went home. I memorized, the first, 30 seconds. But I recorded I timed how long it was. And so when my bar mitzvah came, I spoke the first 30 seconds flawlessly. And then I just made up words for the next 5 minutes. I just made up and none of my friends spoke Hebrew, so they're like, "Whoa, that is so badass!" It was like a gospel version of my bar mitzvah.
Oh, you freestyled it.
Exactly. However, my father grew up Orthodox, so he spoke Hebrew. So he was in the audience
What the hell?
So, and my mother found out. She never knew, but at my father's funeral, the cantor from that time told my mother. 20 years later, he told the whole story. She was like, "Oh my God."
That's hilarious. Wow, that's
Yeah.
really
That's
funny.
my skill.
You get paella for that, man. Wow. So are you Passover, Easter, and everything else?
I'm such a bad Jew.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
It's so good, right? Yeah, my cousin
A
made
paella and pencil.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, it's all about the bunny, right? Exactly, the paella bunny. I know. Well, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so
What's your
much.
website?
RoCkwilk.com.
RoCkwilk. RoCk. So WiLK is a nice Jewish name.
I don't think so.
Was it like Wilkenstein or Wilk?
No, but it was just Will.
WiLK?
And I asked my father, I was like, I thought you were Jewish. He was like, I am Jewish, shut up. So he can't explain it to me. So
He doesn't even know.
I just know WiLK means wolf in Polish.
Oh, but wolf would be more Jewish, right?
Oh, that's true.
Maybe they changed it.
You're like going through layers now. Like,
Well, Laser Wolf. I just saw Fiddler on the Roof not too long ago, and oh, I love that movie. Did you ever see it?
no.
You must. You'll
I'm gonna see it.
You'll appreciate it. It's
I
a
promise
really
you.
good movie. Did you see Fiddler on the Roof?
So
my
now we both need to
gosh.
watch it now.
You both need to watch it. It was on the other night. I just happened to catch it. It's like, it was so. It's so good.
I've seen the play.
Ah,
Even better, right?
More
I've
better.
seen the play than the movie.
the movie's really good.
Yeah, I have to see the
it's
movie, though.
really, really good.
Well, I'm glad I saw the play first.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Because
saw
the
the play
movie, the
first.
play would seem small, but now the movie will seem magnificent.
Oh, it's beyond. It's so good. All right, and come back anytime because
Oh,
I
thank
want
you
to be
so
your new
much.
best friend.
Thank you. Thank
RoCk
you.
WhO.
Thank
All
you so
right,
much.
we'll be back. We've still got more on this March 27th. Happy birthday, Mariah.
You like my own